You're standing at the airport, bags packed, boarding pass in hand, and thinking you've got it all figured out. But here's the truth. One simple mistake, something you haven't even thought about, could ruin your entire trip before your plane ever leaves the ground. And no, this isn't just about forgetting your passport or showing up late. I'm talking about overlooked, airline-level secrets, travel hacks they don't want you to know, and mistakes even frequent flyers make without realizing it. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn 18 insanely effective travel tricks that'll save you money, time, and stress, including one that flight attendants admit they use off the record. Most people fly blind, but after this, you won't. And trust me, number 7, it'll change the way you travel forever. Most travelers assume there's nothing they can do to make economy seats comfortable, but that's only true if you've never heard of the foot hammock hack. All you need is a scarf, belt, or even a small blanket. Loop it under the tray table and rest your feet in it. Just like that, you've made your own in-flight hammock that takes the pressure off your legs and helps prevent swelling. It sounds ridiculous until you try it, and then you'll never fly without it. Flying with kids? There's a pro level trick for that too. Inflatable airplane mattresses designed for kids can turn their seat into a mini bed. No more mid-flight meltdowns, no awkward sleeping positions, just pop it up after takeoff, and suddenly the whole row feels like first class for your toddler. Now, here's one that serious travelers swear by but barely anyone actually does. Hit the gym before your flight. I'm not talking about a light jog, I mean a full workout that gets your heart rate up and your body exhausted. Why? Because the more physically drained you are, the easier it is to sleep on the plane and reset. Your internal clock. It's one of the most underrated ways to fight jet lag, especially on overnight or international flights. But even if you're comfortable, rested, and ready, airport security is still a battlefield, and what you wear or pack could be your next big problem. Let's start with something airlines would really prefer you didn't know. You're not just paying for a seat, you're sitting on a gold mine of perks most people never claim. On long-haul flights, airlines actually stock way more than just pretzels and soda. Eye masks, earplugs, socks, blankets, even pajamas. They're available, but only if you ask. Flight attendants won't advertise it, but they'll usually hand them over with no issue, especially if you ask early in the flight. And here's a food secret that'll make your next in-flight meal way less depressing. Ever notice how plain food tastes? Off? That's because at 35,000 feet, your taste buds are practically numb. So airlines crank up the salt, which makes everything taste stale and weird. But here's the hack. When you book your flight, request a special meal, like vegetarian, kosher, or Hindu. These meals are made fresh, often taste way better, and they're served before the regular trays. So you eat first and better. Oh, and that tiny TSA rule about liquids? There's a loophole. Frozen water bottles are allowed through security. Yep, frozen. Just stick your bottle in the freezer the night before and walk right through TSA with it solid. By the time you board, it's melting just enough to drink, and you've got your hydration handled without buying overpriced water inside the terminal. But even if you're hydrated and fed, your comfort still might be working against you, and that's where most travelers make their next mistake. TSA lines are already stressful, but most travelers make them worse without realizing it. Want to move through security like a pro? Ditch the juggling act. Instead of fumbling with trays, just wear a jacket with large pockets. Toss your phone, passport, and wallet inside, and when it's your turn, throw the whole jacket on the belt. No more digging around in bags, no last-minute panic, just one smooth motion, and you're through. Now, here's a mistake that could actually cost you your laptop. If your device is dead and TSA asks you to power it on, you're in trouble. They can legally confiscate it on the spot if it won't turn on. Why? Because a dead laptop can't be confirmed as a real device and could be flagged as a risk. So charge your electronics the night before and never count on airport or airplane outlets to save you. Some don't work, some are already in use, and some are just for show. Even your toothbrush isn't safe. Most electric toothbrushes run on lithium batteries, and TSA loves to flag those. It doesn't mean you can't bring it, but it could mean extra screening or even a full bag search. If time's tight or you just don't want the hassle, switch to a manual brush for travel. It's easier, faster, and way less suspicious. And if you've ever thought wrapping your valuables in foil was clever, think again. It blocks X-rays, which means your bag lights up with big black spots on the scanner. That's a guaranteed bag check, and not the quick kind. TSA will unwrap everything while other passengers walk right by. Save yourself the embarrassment, use clear containers or soft pouches instead. And speaking of things that set off alarms, coffee. Not the drink, the beans. Some people try to use them to mask the smell of, let's just say, less than legal items. TSA knows the trick, so if you're traveling with coffee, even innocently, expect extra screening. Want the flavor? Buy it when you land. Even film isn't safe. If you're carrying undeveloped film for photography, those TSA scanners will destroy it. Fogged shots, blank rolls, lost memories. Pack it in a clear bag, request a hand check, and be polite. It's a small ask that can save every photo you care about. But even after you clear security, your bag still has one more chance to disappear. And it all starts before you ever check it in. There's one mistake even seasoned travelers still make, and it's packing something that looks innocent until TSA sees it. Toy guns, weird-looking tools, novelty bottle openers that double as mini knives. If it even vaguely resembles a weapon, it's a problem. You might think, it's just a souvenir, but TSA doesn't care. Your bag gets flagged, you get pulled aside, and now you're explaining why you packed something that looks like it belongs in a spy movie. Avoid the hassle. If it could raise an eyebrow, leave it behind. And here's another quiet rule most people ignore. Your backpack? It shouldn't go in the overhead bin. Not only does it hog space for larger suitcases, but it can actually slow down boarding and exiting. Put it under the seat in front of you. That way, your essentials are right where you need them, and you're not one of those people clogging the aisle trying to wrestle a bag down after landing. It's faster, it's easier, and yes, it's more considerate. Now, back to hydration. Because most travelers sabotage themselves before they even reach cruising altitude. You're offered coffee on the plane, maybe even excited for it. But here's the truth. It's one of the worst things you can drink in the air. At 30,000 feet, the cabin is drier than the Sahara, and caffeine only dehydrates you more. That's why so many people land feeling exhausted, foggy, or even sick. Water or juice is the way to go, every time. Your body will thank you when you touch down feeling human instead of like a raisin. And here's the kicker. Most of these hacks take less than 5 minutes. A scarf, a shower cap, a frozen water bottle. Small things that turn a stressful flight into a smooth ride. But the real game changer? Knowing what not to do. Because the worst travel mistakes aren't the ones you see coming. They're the ones you didn't even know you were making. Think your bag is safe once it's checked in? Not quite. One of the easiest ways to lose your luggage isn't theft. It's old baggage tags. Those little destination stickers from previous trips, they can confuse the automated sorting systems and send your bag to the wrong airport entirely. Imagine showing up in Paris while your suitcase takes a solo trip to Tokyo. Before you check in, take 30 seconds to peel off every old label. It's boring, but it could save your entire trip. Even smarter, snap a quick photo of your bag before you hand it over. If it gets lost, you won't be stuck trying to describe it as blue, kind of medium-sized, with wheels. Just show the airline exactly what they're looking for. Want to go one step further? Drop an AirTag or GPS tracker inside. You'll know where your bag is even if the airline doesn't. And if you're trying to avoid checking luggage altogether, packing smart is your best defense. Start with sample size everything. Shampoo, conditioner, toothpaste, they all come in travel-sized versions, and they'll get you through a full trip without the hassle of TSA liquid restrictions. Stock up once, and you're good for dozens of flights. Got a pair of dirty shoes you don't want touching your clean clothes? Those flimsy shower caps you find in hotel bathrooms? Perfect solution. One cap per shoe, and suddenly your suitcase doesn't smell like the inside of a gym locker. Worried about weather? Here's a weird one. Rub a candle over your fabric suitcase. The wax creates a water-resistant seal that can actually protect your stuff in light rain or accidental puddle. Splashes. It's not full-on waterproofing, but it's a cheap, easy upgrade that most people have never even heard of. Now let's talk overpacking, the silent killer of stress-free travel. If you've ever packed a sweater you might need just in case, and never wore it, you're not alone. Be ruthless. If it's not something you know you'll use, leave it behind. Every just-in-case item adds weight, takes up space, and slows you down. And that age-old question, roll or fold? Here's the real answer. It depends. If you're using a backpack, roll your clothes. It saves space and prevents wrinkles. But if you've got a structured suitcase, folding keeps things neater and easier to access. Choose the method that fits your bag, not your habit. Still, even perfect packing won't help if you accidentally bring something that TSA decides looks a little too suspicious. And that's where most people make a mistake that could stop their trip before it starts. If you're still booking flights the same way you did 5 years ago, you're probably paying more than you need to. Airlines play a pricing game, and the rules are rigged against casual travelers. But here's how to flip the script. First, always search for flights on Tuesday afternoons. That's when airlines quietly release new deals after adjusting prices from the weekend surge. You won't see it advertised, but the savings are real. Second, get a VPN. Ticket prices can change depending on where it looks like you're searching from. Try switching your virtual location to a country with a weaker currency, or even just a different region. Suddenly, the same seat on the same plane is $40 cheaper. No joke. And here's the one airlines really don't want you to know. They track your searches. If you keep checking the same route over and over, they assume you're serious and raise the price just for you. That's why it seems like fares go up every time you look. The fix? Clear your browser cookies or use incognito mode every time you search. You'll dodge the price trap and see what a first-time visitor would. It's these kinds of low-effort, high-reward tricks that separate the casual flyer from the travel ninja. Because saving money isn't just about when you fly, it's about how smart you are before you even click book. So now you know, most travel disasters don't come from bad luck. They come from being unprepared, from asking for the wrong drink, to packing the wrong item, to skipping one little browser trick that costs you $100. But not anymore. Now you know how to fly smarter, faster, and more comfortably than 90% of the people in that boarding line. You've got the hacks airlines won't talk about, the TSA mistakes even pros still make, and the simple packing swaps that turn a chaotic trip into an easy ride. Whether it's a frozen water bottle, a foot hammock, or a last-minute VPN check, it all adds up. But here's the real question. Which of these blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments, and tag that one friend who always shows up late, overpacks, and still drinks airplane coffee. You know the one. And if you're wondering how some people manage to score upgrades without spending a dime, that's not a myth, it's a method. Click the next video and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Safe travels. You're not just flying, you're flying smart now.